events of last week and what happened in Uvalde, we didn't want to let another week go by without addressing this issue of gun violence prevention. And also in light of the fact that we will be holding a rally against gun violence on Friday. The town board wanted to get together and pass a resolution declaring June 3rd, 2022 as National Gun Violence Awareness Day. And that's really the reason for this special meeting. We also will be passing a proclamation for Pride Month, which also will be in June, and we will be having a flag raising this weekend for that as well. All right, so we can I have a motion to open the board meeting?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so we are going to get right to it and pass. Vicki, do you want to read the proclamation for Pride Week?
Yes.
Pride Month.
I would be happy to do that. Okay, this is a proclamation for the Town of Newcastle Pride Month of June 2022. Whereas the Town of Newcastle, New York upholds the value and dignity of each person and champions the rights, freedom, and equality of all individuals and families. And whereas all are welcome in the Town of Newcastle to live, work, play, and to feel a sense of belonging, inclusion, and equality, and a place to call home where they are safe, happy, and supported by friends and neighbors. And whereas the town denounces prejudice and unfair discrimination based on age, gender identity, gender expression, race, color, ethnicity, religion, marital status, national origin, sexual orientation, ability, socioeconomic status, or physical attributes as an affront to our fundamental principles. And whereas Pride Month commemorates the Stonewall Uprising in New York City in June of 1969, and lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer plus, that's LGBTQ plus, and allied friends took a stand for human rights and dignity and fought against police harassment and discriminatory laws that have since been declared unconstitutional. And whereas LGBTQ plus people have fought for equal treatment, dignity, respect, and have achieved significant milestones ensuring that future generations of LGBTQ plus people will enjoy a more equal and just society. And whereas LGBTQ plus people still face disparities in employment, healthcare, education, housing, and many other areas central to the pursuit of happiness in the United States. And whereas the Town of Newcastle recognizes the valuable cultural, civic, and economic contributions of the LGBTQ community, which strengthen our social welfare. And whereas it is imperative that young people in our community, regardless of sexual orientation, gender identity, and expression, feel valued, safe, empowered, and supported by their peers and community leaders. And whereas despite being marginalized, LGBTQ people continue to celebrate authenticity, acceptance, and whereas the Town of Newcastle reaffirms its commitment to standing in solidarity with LGBTQ plus individuals and families in their ongoing struggle against discrimination and injustice. Now therefore be it resolved that the members of this town declare the month of June 2022 as LGBTQ plus Pride Month of Newcastle, and urge residents to recognize the contributions made by members of the LGBTQ plus community and to actively promote the principles of equality, liberty, and justice.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And we will be having a Pride flag ceremony this Saturday, right here in front of Town Hall at 2 p.m. All right, and now you'll see that we are all wearing orange. That is in the proclamation that's about to be read, but we urge everyone to wear orange. June 3rd through 5th is Wear Orange Days, but specifically on June 3rd. And Chris, you wanna?
Sure. So this is the proclamation declaring 3rd 2022 National Violence Awareness Day. Whereas every day more than 110 Americans are killed by gun violence, alongside more than 200 who are shot and wounded. And on average, there are nearly 16,000 gun homicides every year. And whereas Americans are 25 times more likely to die by gun homicide than people in other developed countries. And whereas cities and towns across the nation, including Newcastle, New York, are working to end the senseless violence. And whereas protecting public safety in the communities we serve is the town board's highest responsibility. And whereas gun violence prevention is more important than ever as the COVID-19 pandemic continues to exacerbate gun violence, after more than 2 years of increased gun sales, increased calls to suicide and domestic violence hotlines, and an increase in city gun violence. And whereas in January 2000, Hadiah Pendleton was tragically shot and killed at age 15 on a playground in Chicago, just days after she performed at President Obama's second inauguration. Whereas the first National Gun Violence Awareness Day was declared on June 2nd, 2018, on what would have been Hadiah's 18th birthday. And whereas the idea was inspired by a group of Hadiah's friends who asked their classmates to commemorate her life by wearing orange, they chose this color because hunters wear orange to announce themselves to other hunters when out in the woods, and orange is a color that symbolizes the value of human life. And whereas on June 3rd, 2022, to recognize what would have been Hadiah's 25th birthday on June 2nd, 1997, people across the United States will National Gun Violence Awareness Day and wear orange in tribute to Hadiah Pendleton and other victims of gun violence and the loved ones of those victims. Whereas anyone can join this campaign by pledging to wear orange on the first Friday of June to help raise awareness about gun violence. And whereas by wearing orange on June 3rd, 2022, Americans will raise awareness about gun violence and honor the lives of gun violence victims and survivors. And whereas we renew our commitment to reduce gun violence and pledge to do all we can to keep firearms out of the wrong hands and encourage responsible gun ownership to help keep our children safe. Now, the town board of the town of Newcastle does hereby June 3rd, 2022, the first Friday in June, to be National Gun Violence Awareness Day in the town of Newcastle. And we encourage all residents to support efforts to prevent the tragic effects of gun violence and to honor human lives.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, and we look forward to seeing all residents at the rally that we're going to be holding this Friday at 5 p.m. at the gazebo in the Chappaqua Hamlet. So that is all that's on our agenda for this special meeting today. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I move to adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.